Hey, Myth.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Great job so far.
Is that well, like, I'm having fun, but I'm also really tired?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, looks like Miyabi's getting underway here. Good morning, everyone. As we go into our third day of the Best of NES, it's been an absolute blast so far. Tonight, we have, I think this is our first Schmup of the Best of NES, which any of you mockeries who say that you can't speedrun an auto scroller, you could leave. But as you can see, this is Zanac. This is a compile shmup. As if you know anything about compile shmups, you will immediately know that this is indeed a compile shmup, because you can tell, much like how Gradius has its own power-up system, almost all compile shmups have the exact same upgrade system or number system, depending on how they want to do it. As you can see, he keeps collecting those smiling red faces. That's upgrading his weapon immensely. Those smiling red faces are in just about every compile shmup, and it's usually and it's always usually like a super buff to your weapon or something. Well, that was an unfortunate death earlier. Schmup, I'm sorry, let me explain what shmup means. Shmup means it's short for shoot 'em up, because back when first-person shooters were really becoming popular, landers, Zelda, thank you, the blue and red landers are usually big on the power-up system. But going back to shmup, it's short for shoot 'em up, and the reason the shmup community kind of hyphenated it the way they did is to really differentiate from shoot 'em up, because people would think like, oh, Call of Duty or Counter-Strike or whatever, But anyways, as all compile shmups tend to have, there's a upgrade system from 0 to 7. So there's 8 separate kind of power-ups that you can use. And they're all pretty unique. There's usually like a few of them are a bit better than the others. Like there's ones that have kind of a seeking ability, or there's ones that have like a really nice shield that you can use. I believe in this specific compile shmup, you can get what's called a super gun. I think there's a few different ways you do it. I'm not totally caught up on the ins and outs of this specific shmup, but I will try to do my best here. Just to cover more basics of shmups. A lot of what you'll see him doing is either manipulating bullet patterns, or if you kind of get like thrown out of a loop, you'll see sweeping from left to right. What this generally does is it gets the bullets, because a lot of enemies will shoot directly at where you were when they started shooting. So when you do sweeping patterns, you can manipulate the bullets in a pretty easy pattern to be dodgeable. Alright, what Miyabi did there was he waited for the middle part of that glowing circle to disappear, and what happens then is if you touch it, he can warp. In this game, you can actually warp forwards or backwards, so it's a little sketchy and dangerous to do so. So the earlier you do it, like in stage 1, you'll only get to go to stage 2, so it's a good idea to take it in stage 1. But I believe he's skipping a lot of the actual in-game like power-up weapons, because he wants to supercharge his specific gun. Making stuff up, indeed. Zanak is the name of the ship, by the way, if anyone's curious about why the game is called Zanak. Your ship is indeed Zanac. But there are 12 levels to this game. No continues. So this could get very dangerous here. But as you see, Miyabi's doing a lot of stuff to really charge up his weapons early. And it's very important, as in all shmups, to charge up as fast as you can. Some shmups even become decently easy after you charge up. That's not really the case in Zanac. This is a very difficult shmup, but the faster you really charge up and get to your top tier weapon, you can go into the bosses and just, depending on the boss, of course, you can really get in their face in about 0.2 seconds, just completely eliminate them. It's extremely helpful. And look at the chaining Miyabi doing right now is very impressive. He is an incredibly skilled Zanac player. Yogi, I hope you're watching. Okay, I think he's looking to warp here again. Let's see what she goes. As he goes forward or backwards. You went to Area 3, alright. Continuing on here. The luxury of this game is a little bit like Gradius, is there are warps that you can just take and... you can take and just, you know, completely skip bosses and stages. And you have to worry about any of that. It's another luxury of knowing the game in and out. And as specific to almost every shmup, there really isn't RNG or random factors in shmups. A lot of it is simply either grinding it or just playing through it a few times. So you get an idea of the patterns, like which specific enemies do what, boss patterns being probably the most important part of getting through shmups deathless. I'm not entirely sure what he's waiting for here, if it's either to time the boss out or he's looking for a specific warp. I see there's the fairy on the left. I also am not entirely sure what that power-up does, but I know it's another compile trademark. But actually, as Vax will let you know later, the next shmup we have on the list, the game coming up after this, is also a compile game. So you're going to see a lot of the same trademarks, but I'm going to let Vax explain that to you in a bit. Just keep an eye out for things you're going to see, like the numbers, the landers, which is those blue and red circular guys. That's a ton of them that just came on the screen right there. That's crazy. I believe his gun is in super gun mode now, where it's fully charged up and it's auto fire. He's sticking with the default special weapon, which when you hit... Okay, there's a super gun. I was a little preemptive on that. As you can see, he's just like slaying the screen right now. But he's sticking with the default weapon, the Zero special weapon, which, depending on which direction you're actually going in, is how it will shoot. It's a very skill-based weapon, because you got to be careful with all the bullets and stuff flying around on the screen. So you got to be careful you don't, edge into a bullet when you're trying to shoot out a specific enemy that's like on the left or right of you. As you can see there, he uses it extremely skillfully. Alright. Normally these things take an incredible amount of bullets to kill, but since he's so powered up right now, he is just completely melting through the enemies, I don't know, what would you call this, a minefield? He's gonna set up again for, I believe, one of those lander explosions. Blue and red-faced power-ups that come out and really lend you a helping hand. And yeah, he just... Right there is the definition of just melting a boss, because you're so powerful at this point. Excuse me. But yeah, compile shmups in general I wouldn't say they all have like the exact same system, but besides Guardian Legend, I think they might switch the numbers up a bit. But the power-ups tend to stay the same. He might be going for another warp here. I'm not quite sure. Personally, when I play this... oh, he is going for another warp. There you go. Area 4. Well done. Well done. Personally, when I tend to play this game, I'm not very good at Zanac. I haven't put much time into it. I tend to go for like the Seeking special ability. So I have to think less, I would say. Because when you have the Seeking ability, of course, you can just sit back, spam it, and hope for the best when the enemies come on the screen. It's kind of like the casual route through it. But Miyabi is anything but casual in this game. He's a fantastic Zanac player. And Schmup player all around. You should definitely give him a follow if you have not. Miyabi is a very entertaining individual. Alright. A lot of what I'm seeing so far in this game, for the speedrun of this game, is that he's manipulating warps to happen. Yeah, see, he just... Nothing with that boss. Just completely decimated it. This game has a ton of bosses, though. Like, that was just a mid-stage boss. He's usually hitting warps to skip ahead for a lot of this game. But this game has, like, sometimes 3-4 bosses per stage, and there's 12 areas you have to get through, and again, no continues. But if you look in the lower right corner, Miyabi has got harvested himself a lot of extra guys. It's a very smart way of playing, specifically in a marathon run. Just to get, you know, 20 plus extra lives in a shmup is definitely a good way to go. And thankfully, this one's a little more lenient when it comes to the checkpoint system when you die. A lot of shmups have it, well, maybe not a lot, but I have definitely invested a lot of time into the Gradius series. And that is one series that if you die in, you gotta kind of get a little lucky to bounce back. Because the checkpoints are usually bad, and then you're starting at like 1 speed again, and it just gets extremely difficult. Alright, as you can see, he's manipulating that fairy again. Specifically, maybe we'll see some more landers in the future. Who knows? We could always use more landers. Whenever you play a compile shmup and you see a lander come out, it's very exhilarating because you know it's going to be something really good. Just a big buff to your weapon of some sort. Alright, a lot of what he's doing here is he's sticking on the left side, so he kills anything that comes in from the left side, and he's letting the right side spawn in, and he's basically just dodging whatever they're throwing at him on that side. It's a very easy way to manipulate bullet spread and make it easier on yourself. Because a lot of people, what they'll do in shmups is they'll panic and just like fly all over the place, throw bombs everywhere. I mean, I'm as much guilty as this as anyone else. Sometimes it gets very hard to focus when there's a ton of enemies on the screen. But if you play calm, stick to a certain side of the screen, let the enemies come from the other side, and just dodge from there and take out like half the screen, like cover half the screen, you're usually good to go. Alright, we're upward into Area 5 already. I'm just flying through this game right now. Yeah, you're going to see here, he's using a basic sweeping motion again. Very good for shmups. If you're new to shmups, you should really pay attention to his movement on a lot of the stuff he's doing here. a lot of it's manipulation of bullets coming at him. Again, shmups don't really have RNG. I mean, some do, but in this specific case, in this, and you know, Gradius, or a lot of the series is like that, they really don't. It's just they usually tend to fill the screen with so many bullets that you panic, and then you make yourself in some undodgeable situations. And it's frustrating, and you want to blame the game, but it's usually just because you manipulated the bullets in a bad pattern and you couldn't get out of it. Which we've all been there. Shmups can be a very, very difficult genre of game to play. And again, he's going with the left side, and then he's just letting the right side come at him for easy dodges. A nice thing about this game is you can destroy half the enemy bullets as well. So you don't really have to worry too much. Like the kind of, I don't know, oval-shaped bullets that fly at you, you can just shoot those out of the air. And the more circular ones are the ones you really have to just worry about. Alright, we see Miyabi switching up to a different special weapon here. Alright, he's gonna go for the warp here for Area 6. There you go. Onward to Area 6. Alrighty then. So we got, he switched up to the laser. I'm gonna assume as much as it was to kill that guy in the previous stage faster and to get that warp to spawn. Because at this point we're halfway through the game. And the basic method of this is, find the warp, get the warp, and manipulate extra life drops. As you can see now, he's over 30 lives now. A pretty safe amount to be at. And the laser, like all his weapons are fully upgraded, so a lot of the sweeping patterns that he's doing are just completely eliminating the entire screen, which puts the mind at ease, definitely. Yeah, this is a very interesting level of absolutely nothing going on. Put a lot of effort into this one. My guess is there's a boss coming up and they're trying to to buff you up beforehand. Yes. And there's the boss, and the boss is dead. And just like that, through the mini boss or the mid-stage boss. Alright. Another the one compile shmup I played that really threw like a twist in the compile mechanics is Zanak X Zanak. PlayStation. It still had the same basic formula, but it made it a little more bullet hell-like, and added a couple of different power-ups. An interesting twist in the series, but while maintaining, the same kind of shmup attitude as the originals, or any of the, their basic formula, kind of like Gradius. Like, they go through the series, and while it changes, it remains the same. Think of it like a Mega Man series, but, not exactly well, how do I want to put this? Not exactly so many sequels in such a fast time, because there's like a million Mega Mans from NES to SNES. But Zanac and Gradius, of course, they took their time with their sequels. And there's another warp. Miyabi's already in Area 8. 34 ships in. He's warped to level 8. He's full powered. He is just absolutely slaying this game right now. What the world record in this? I do not know what the world record in this is. I heard the task earlier has this game in about 3 minutes, like 3.5 minutes. How that's done, I have no idea. A lot of warp manipulation, I guess. Maybe some wrong warping. As you can see, these really annoying skeleton enemies that he can't kill. He's just going to kite them around. And when he gets them into one spot, it's they pretty much become a non-issue as long as you, again, do the sweeping. And kind of a figure 8 pattern to get these guys out of the way. Believe it or not, speedrunning shmups is a very legit thing. The lag reduction, the quick kill mechanics, the warps, they're all major parts of speedrunning. Just because you can't control the scrolling of the game doesn't mean you can't speedrun it in some way or another. Well, I guess you can control the scrolling of the game if you can control lag. Gradius 3 being like the biggest example of this. Me and Rot Dog had a race. It was less of a race and more of a show-off of how much you actually can speedrun a shmup. In Gradius 3, I went full noob strats and just filled up everything. Took all the items, all the missiles, and played like, you know, a general casual player would play. And then he did the speedrun route, and there was about an 8-minute difference. To put that in perspective, Mega Man 2, zipless world record is, I want to say, a low 29, while the world record is a high 26. So, that's a huge difference. Yes, Compile also made Guardian Legend. Alright, Miyabi, again, continuing to do the sweeping patterns here and kite the skulls around. You gotta be really careful about stuff like that. When there's an enemy that you cannot kill like that, even when they're very easy to dodge, if it gets a little hectic on the screen, you might accidentally run into it, and then there's a death right there. And you don't want to do that. But he's doing a fantastic job of kiting them around and getting them out of the way. They might not be invincible, they might just take a hell of a lot of shots. Excuse me. Yes, and the warp also, Rod. Warps? Yeah, there's more than it. Speedrunning is more than just holding right in a platformer and doing precise jumps and shots. There's a lot of precise differences in a lot of different games. I would just ask to keep an open mind when it comes to speedrunning shmups, as there are a lot of ways you can do it. And you're seeing it right here. Miyabi's taking warps. He's quick killing bosses. Like that. That boss gone. Mere seconds. We are at 40 lives, boys. 40 lives. Again, shout out to Miyabi for displaying his mad Zanac skills. Give this man a follow, for sure. And that's Area 8. There's only 4 more areas left in the game now. Well, the thing, when you upgrade your weapon in this Fox, is that it's auto-fire, so he doesn't actually need to mash. If that's what you were referring to. So, when he's on the boss like that, he could just get right up in its face and hold down A and B to shoot his regular gun and his special weapon. Excuse me. And it just completely deletes the boss. Like, the boss is a total non-factor. Miyabi's choices for special weapons in this run are definitely the speedrun versions. I mean, again, you can play it safe and pick weapons that have seeking ability that don't do a lot of damage, but it's very safe because you can like sit in a corner and just wait. But what he's doing here with the laser, especially on that guy right there, is it just absolutely destroyed him without a second thought. Earlier, he had the 0 power-up on that guy, and he couldn't really do much damage to it because while you're doing damage to him with your main gun, it also deflects your shots, and you can't shoot another shot while your deflected shot is being deflected off screen. But with the laser, it just melts right to the core of that guy without any issues. Alright, it looks like he's gonna get a warp going here. He has it on the screen. Oh, maybe not. It might... Yep. It eked out of the screen, unfortunately. So no warp here. Well, too good as far as I'm concerned. If nobody else has a recorded time faster than that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have some playthroughs of this game. It looks like he might have accidentally picked a different special weapon there, or he specifically picked this one up because it was a screen clear. It's for lag purposes and for safety purposes. He must have took this on purpose. He really wants to keep the screen clear, so for safety. Safety, no lag. You could really accidentally run into stuff in Schmups a lot. And clearing the screen is always beneficial. Especially when there's slow-moving objects that you can normally shoot out of the way, but are kind of sketchy. Like the little mines that keep coming into the screen, they're shootable, but they take a lot of hits. But with the special weapon he currently has, it just clears the screen every time he uses it. So it's incredibly useful in that regard. Weapon 6 is for farming lives. Well, I think he's okay on lives right now. He's got a pretty good situation when it comes to the life count. The greatest part I've learned so far this run is just how much you can manipulate this game, and it's very important that you understand that this game is undoubtedly 100% manipulatable, like almost all shmups, as we said earlier here. And he gets right into the boss's face and just melts it. Not a worry in the world. A lot of the bullets the bosses shoot, you can destroy. So getting in the face like that makes it nice and simple. Alright. Nice 10-second section right there where nothing's going on, and the end of the area. Alright, 3 more to go. Yeah, he took a death on, I think, the first mini-boss. Which, at that point, it's hard not to. Because you're so underpowered. And sometimes even in the first stage of Schmups, when you're that underpowered, it can really hurt you. Nice. He just drilled that square, and nice ringing sound going on there. It doesn't look like he can get another warp here, unfortunately. Still making good use of that screen clearing power-up. Which I don't think he has unlimited shots. I don't think so anyways. But he's definitely making sure that the screen is nice and clear, so nothing dangerous imposes his ship. These bullets. Specifically these enemies that come at you. This is especially important to stay to one side of the screen. Because you want to kill at least one side of those guys that come in at you, or else it's going to be a mess trying to dodge all those guys. I think a bit of a peeve of mine is those enemies that kind of come in at you, and Compile just loves that enemy. You will see in a bit here when Vax destroys the Guardian Legend. But Miyabi is he's doing so well right now. It's a very impressive display here. Alright. Mid-stage boss down. Excuse me again. Sorry. But of course, as we go into the final levels here, we're going to see a lot of enemies just cover the screen all over and over and over again, even from behind. Like, another rough part for shmups is when you're least expecting it and you're used to being on the bottom of the screen or the left side of the screen for safety. You know, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay down here and everything's just going to come from above or from the right of the screen, depending if you're playing a vertical or horizontal shmup. And, you know, everything feels like it's so safe and clean. And then suddenly the game throws a curveball at you and has enemies spawn behind you, and they run right into the back of your ship, and boom, you're dead like that. That is a very frustrating point in some shmups. They like to sneak that in there on you, so you don't get too comfortable. Oh, look at Miyabi here. Cleaning house. 54 lives now. Chat, make a guess on how many lives we're gonna have at the end of this run. I'm gonna guess 74. But I like to guess high. A safer guess would be in the 60s. The chains are indeed real, and for an NES game, it's very impressive to have this kind of chaining. 69 lives, alright then. 114. Alright, we'll see how many people's predictions are true. I mean, if he ends up with 69 lives, that will be both hilarious and great. Alright, he's continuing your typical bullet manipulations and shmuplin, specifically this game. What I've noticed about compile games over most other shmups is that you really have to focus on one side of the screen. Because they have, you know, those enemies that tend to come at you in the middle. There'll be two sides of them, and then when you get, when they are right next to you vertically, they will come in at you, and then you gotta make your dodge or shoot them. Alright. Area 11. We got 2 areas to go here. And he is just coasting along. Again, give Miyabi a follow. He's an excellent, excellent Zanac runner and a very entertaining individual. The chaining he's doing in this game is incredibly impressive. Like, it's no joke to route this much of a shmup out. And he's practically no-miss the entire game. Definition of a no-miss in the shmup community is going through a game deathless. There's 1 CC, which is 1 credit clear, which is what he's doing now. Well, there's no credits in this game, so... Look at those extra guys coming up there! Oh! And then he was at 72. God damn. Oh, he's gonna blow so many predictions out of the water. Well, too good. It happens to be a shmup, and when you're explaining something, you tend to want to use the definition of what you're explaining. Dude, Miyabi is going nuts with these extra lives right now. But... I completely trailed off of what I was talking about there. The extra lives caught me off guard, man. Nuts. Missed wins. Rip the 69, guys, sorry. The dream is dead. Unless he dies a bunch, which I don't think is gonna happen. And we certainly wouldn't want that. Oh yes, we were talking about 1 CCs and no misses. So no miss is a 0 death run of a shmup. Generally, early shmups, that's what you want to go for, but like an arcade, when you're like grinding score and chaining scores, sometimes taking a death is a good thing. I myself love going for no misses over 1cc / scores. Speaking of scores, look at him popping the hot 5 million up there. Free. So free. Oh, this is another one of those situations where they're preparing you for the boss. There's more of those enemies where you shoot your regular gun and it damages them, but it tinks off of them, so you have to wait for it to clear the screen to shoot them again. He's continually just killing this run right now. 76 lives to go. He still has, I think, 19 reserved screen-clearing bombs, basically. Well, since the extra live thing got blown out of the water, you guys might as well give another guess on what he's going to end the extra lives amount here. I honestly had no idea that the extra lives can get so insane in this game, and I'm loving it right now, and I hope to see possible 80s to 90s. Oh, that's an interesting thing to note there, Blitz. As you know, runners love to abuse iframes. So, I'm sure in this run all over the place, it's been abusing it, and I just haven't been able to catch it. Fair enough, fair enough. It's gonna lap over to 1 life, hey. It's quite possible. Excuse me. Alright, well, he's in Area 11 now. Again, there's only 12 areas. And he is having a heck of a run here. He's continually using the screen clearing power-up to just safely get him through a lot of these areas, and chain lots of lives, as you've seen earlier here. If you really want to see the estimate, it's in the schedule. The estimate for this is 1 hour. Yeah, I've always been more of a fan of no miss runs, but if you ever get a chance to catch somebody who's doing like high score runs of an arcade shmup, you're in for a treat, because it's incredibly impressive what some of those guys can pull off. Alright, this could oh, there you go again. The manipulation is real. Gets right in the boss's face and clears the midsection. He's almost full on screen clearing bombs again. And you can see it, he keeps clearing it of bullets, so he doesn't have to worry about getting hit there. Excellent boss fight. Excellent. He's at 81 lives now. And that sounds like it's going to be the end of the area, and we're going into the final area of the game. Hold on to your butts, everyone. Area 12. Well, it's always good to overestimate just in case. Alright, we're seeing another power-up here. It kind of has a yo-yo effect. You can kind of stick it into an enemy and it'll just like hit it frame for a while. But if the enemy is too powerful, as you see there, it kind of just tinks off. Excuse me. Alright, I got a bit of a cough tonight. Alright, Area 12. He's got his power up. He gets through that guy. Little yo-yo effect here. Alright, he went back to the laser. I figured he'd switch this back to something a little stronger, and the laser is definitely... It's almost always the strongest weapon in Shmups, but... It's pretty obvious the way it can go through enemy shields in this, that it just melts enemies. That, in combination with your super gun, slays them all. So since he did take the laser over the bombs, I assume you're going to see a lot of sweeping patterns here to make sure the screen continually stays cleared. Again, as long as you know what's coming up, you cannot be caught off guard. So there won't be too many bullets, because, again, like mentioned earlier, you can get yourself in undodgeable situations. Shoutouts to the music in this game. It's got a solid score. I would say over almost any other genre of games, shoot 'em ups in this case, like Gradius, the Striker series, you know, Compile's list of shmups, Cave games. They all have incredibly good musical scores. And for an entire genre, I think this, from my experience, has the best quality of music over the entire genre, like, you know, action, adventure, platformer. I mean, there's a lot of amazing songs in a lot of different genres, but for some reason, shmups always seem to nail it. Almost every single time. There's a couple bad ones, of course. And 1942 comes to mind, but I don't even know if you would consider that music. Alright, we can see here, Miyabi's, he's getting up all in this boss's grill right now. Wow, he is just decimating this boss. The boss had no chance. Ikaruga. Oh, was that it? Are we on GG? It looks like we're on GG. Look at his score piling up right now. Holy moly. Will he get 20 million? He was really close. 111 extra lives is what he ended with. What an incredible run. Shoutouts to Miyabi. What an amazing shmup player. What an amazing run. Awesome game. Give all your follows to Miyabi right now. Every single person. If you follow him again right now. Because that was extremely impressive playthrough. Extremely impressive. I am, like, floored. Nice English there. Produced. But that was extraordinarily impressive. Thank you so much, Miyabi. Stay tuned for the Guardian Legend. That's going to be an excellent run. That is a very impressive run to watch as well. Also Compile. Brought to you by Vaxerd. It's going to be excellent, guys. Stay tuned for that.